So in the previous class, we had looked at HMP shunt pathway, hexose monophosphate pathway, how your body is essentially making ATP when glycolysis and TCA are not available, or an alternative pathway to glycolysis and TCA for the production of energy. That is HMP shunt. Now, today in this class, we'll discuss about how glycogen is being formed from glucose and how glucose can be formed from glycogen. Essentially, makeup of glycogen, breakdown of glycogen. We'll look at first makeup of glycogen, that is called glycogenesis. Glycogenesis. So you're making glycogen. Okay, that is what glycogenesis stands for. Now, glycogenesis looks like this. This is the reaction of glycogenesis. Essentially, it is a simplified version, but it is glycogenesis anyway. So, what you are trying to do is you are taking one molecule of glucose and you are adding other molecules of glucose in order to store it as glycogen. Your body will turn excessive amount of glucose, whatever food you are eating, whatever nutrition that you take, that whenever it is in excess of the required amount of calories, required amount of energy for daily usage. So, for example, there is a normal healthy person who requires, let's suppose, 1600 to 1800 kilocalories per day for maintenance, to maintain the same body weight, to stay as they are. Okay, without increasing body weight, without decreasing body weight. If they need 1600 calories, and let us suppose they are eating 1800 calories for normal maintenance of their body weight, let us suppose they need 1600 calories based on their activity and all of that, taking into everything into account. Let us suppose their maintenance calories is 1600. So if they eat at 1600, let us suppose they are staying at a body weight of 70 kgs. Example. Now if they start eating 200 calories more every day, let us suppose they are eating 1800 calories more. 1 or 2 days or even 1 week will not make a very big difference. But as they keep on doing it for months, weeks together, and months maybe, they will start to put on weight. Okay, that is happening because your body is essentially, there is a limit to how much glucose can be used. After one point, what will happen is whatever excessive amount of glucose is present in your body, that will be stored as glycogen, and that there is a limit to how much glycogen can be made as well. Okay, your body can only store a certain amount of glycogen in liver and in muscle and all of that. After that, whatever excessive amount of glucose and glycogen is present, that will be converted into fat and it will be stored in adipose tissue. Now here we are discussing the scenario where that excess amount of glucose is being stored in the form of glycogen, or it is being converted into glycogen. Okay, first of all, glucose will undergo phosphorylation. The molecule of glucose will have a phosphate molecule added to it. This reaction occurs with the help of ATP. देखिए यहाँ पर mentioned नहीं है, but essentially one ATP molecule will donate a phosphate molecule. It will get converted into adenosine diphosphate, and that phosphate molecule gets attached to the sixth carbon in glucose, giving you glucose 6 phosphate. This undergoes isomerization. It will change its position. That phosphate group, now instead of being in the sixth carbon, it will get attached to the first carbon. Hence, you get glucose 1 phosphate. It is happening in the presence of a mutase enzyme. Mutase is essentially an isomerase enzyme. Okay? Mutase, they have several different types of isomerase enzymes. Mutase is another type of isomerase enzyme. Okay? Phosphoglucomutase and hexokinase. First comes hexokinase या glucokinase भी बोल सकते हैं आप. Kinase enzymes are responsible for movement of phosphate groups. Mutase enzymes are responsible for isomerization. यहाँ पर in the presence of phosphoglucomutase, glucose 6 phosphate gets converted into 1 phosphate, glucose 1 phosphate. Essentially, the phosphate position is being changed. Now comes the interesting part. What happens to glucose 1 phosphate is a new molecule comes and attaches to it called uridine triphosphate, UTP. And ये attachment कैसा होता? Instead of UTP donating phosphate, essentially phosphorylation mein phosphate should be attached, right? But that does not occur. In this reaction, UTP will get dissociated. It will break down into UDP, uridine diphosphate, and one inorganic phosphate, that is PPI. Okay? What you see on the screen, PPI, that is inorganic phosphate. The UDP that is left, uridine diphosphate, gets attached to glucose. So once again, what is happening is one uridine triphosphate. This is also a nucleotide. Okay, just like your this thing ATP. UTP is also a nucleotide. Now, यहाँ पर UTP gets dissociated in the presence of UDP glucose pyrophosphorylase, this particular enzyme. In the presence of that, what will happen is UDP will break down into UTP will break down into uridine triphosphate is being broken down into uridine diphosphate and one molecule of pyrophosphate or one inorganic phosphate molecule essentially. That UDP molecule attaches to the glucose. Okay? That makes UDP glucose. Now, to this UDP glucose molecule comes and attaches glycogenin. Glycogenin is a very special protein. Okay? Glycogenin is also called a primer. Okay? Primer क्या रहता? Acha, I'm sure you must have set curd sometime in your life, or you must have seen people setting curd. You take a little bit of milk, you take some leftover curd, or you take a little spoonful of curd or something like that, and you add it to that milk. You stir it up and you leave it in some warm area. Eventually, what will happen is the bacteria that is present in the curd will curdle the milk as well, because of which the whole milk that you have in that vessel or in whatever you're putting will turn into curd, right? That is how curd is made. So you are taking a little bit of primer, you are taking a little bit of curd which is already present, and you are putting it into the raw material, that is milk. In this scenario, that curd that you are adding acts as a primer. The same way, in this scenario, glycogen will act as a primer. It will act as curd that you are initially adding. Okay, what it will do is it will replace uridine diphosphate को replace करके it will make a glycogen and glucose molecule, that's called a primer. ठीक है, glycogen primer बोलते हैं उसको. I'll draw that and show it to you how it looks. So we came to a position where we had UDP glucose, right? ऐसा है समझो. ठीक है, UDP and glucose are attached together. Here comes the primer. ठीक है, let us suppose this is the primer. Okay, and that primer generally has a hydroxyl group attached to it. It will not be alone, it will generally have a hydroxyl group attached to it. This primer is acting as that curd, as I told you. What happens is this fellow will replace UDP. As a result, what will happen is when these two attach together, you will end up getting a primer molecule and a glucose molecule attached to it. Okay, that is the reaction. This is occurring in the presence of glycogen initiator synthase, a very special enzyme called glycogen initiator synthase. So once again, what happened is you took one molecule of glucose, you phosphorylated that molecule, you added one phosphate molecule to it, you changed the position of that phosphate molecule, and then you added uridine triphosphate, because of which you got UDP glucose. Now to that UDP glucose, you are adding a primer. Okay, small pre-existing glycogen molecule. Okay, that primer is essentially a protein that has glycogen in it. Okay, it is acting as the curd, the little bit of initiator curd in your milk solution. Now what happens is to this primer glucose molecule, ये जो primer and glucose का combination है, to this several UDP glucose molecules will come and attach. One second. Several UDP, almost roughly around 15 more molecules of UDP glucose will come and attach. So the initial reactions from glucose to UDP, glucose to glucose 1 phosphate, glucose 6 phosphate, and to UDP glucose जितने भी reactions हो रहे, that will occur multiple times and you get multiple molecules of UDP glucose. Those UDP glucose molecules will come and attach to this primer molecule. Okay. In turn, what will happen is this primer molecule will start attaching to more and more glucose molecule, meaning more and more UDP will leave their glucose molecule to this primer. ऐसा attach होने लगता है, and the chain starts becoming bigger. Okay. Essentially, what will happen is 15 molecules of glucose, other than this glucose, original glucose, 15 other molecules of glucose will come and they will attach to this primer molecule. Okay. So what you get in the end is, one second, where is that? Yeah, so in the presence of glycogen synthase, you get 1,4 glycosyl residues. ये 1,4 क्यों बोल रहे? Those two glucose molecules are attached to each other through 1,4 bonding. ठीक है, there is a bondage, glycosidic bondage present in between those two glucose in the first and fourth position. So for example, अगर मैं दो glucose molecule उतारा, let us suppose this is one glucose molecule and this is another glucose molecule. If you're not understanding or if you want me to repeat from any part, please feel free to ask in middle. Okay, I don't mind you stopping me in between. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll have another carbon 6 here, CH2OH wala. Okay, and you have another carbon CH2OH wala. That is the sixth carbon. Okay, that will make the 6 carbon glucose. Here you will have an oxygen. Okay, giving you the pyranose ring. So again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6th. The attachment between glucose molecule is occurring here and here. That is 1,4 linkage. Okay, that is why that molecule is called 1,4 or 1 arrow mark for glycosyl residue. ठीक है, जो glycosyl residues, glycosyl units बन रहे, those are happening because of 1,4 glucosyl bonds. Now what happens if 15 molecules come into picture, which one molecule was already present and you had 15 more molecules coming, तो अब क्या हो रहा? There is a primer here. Let us suppose this is the primer, and you are having one. Let us suppose this is a single glucose molecule, and let us suppose this is the glycosidic linkage. Glycosidic linkage. This is glucose molecule. Okay, suppose I'll erase that just in case you are getting confused. So glucose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. ऐसा होता, ठीक है. This is what happens. 16 molecules of glucose will be attached to a primer. Now, it is unreasonable to think that such a linear molecule will be stable. ठीक है, this molecule which is completely linear, we have completely one four linkages यहाँ पर. ठीक है, first carbon, fourth carbon, then first carbon of this glucose and fourth carbon of this glucose, that continuously keeps on binding to each other. Here what happens is at the 10th carbon this chain will break. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10th glucose molecule, here the chain will break. ठीक है, यहाँ से break हो जाता. And what will happen is this is happening to make the molecule more stable. At the 7th glucose molecule, so essentially here a new bond is formed. This is not a 1,4 linkage, this is a 1,6 linkage. ठीक है, this is already 4, 1 and this is 4, sorry, there's already a 1, 4, then again 1, 4 linkage, right? Now the new linkage will occur between 1 of this and 6 of this. That CH2OH group जो extra आ रहा था ना उसमें. I'll show you just in case you are getting confused. है देखो ऐसा है glucose molecule. ठीक है, ये first carbon है, second, third, fourth and fifth. Normally there is a bond between first carbon of this glucose and the next fourth carbon of the next glucose molecule. That 1,6 linkage will occur between this one molecule and the sixth molecule, this fellow, sixth carbon of the next glucose, making a completely new bond. Here 1,6 linkage banta hai, 1,6 linkage. Then from here on out you again have 1,4 linkages. Okay, only in between these two you have 1,6 linkage, rest of them are same 1,4 linkages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You still have 16 glucose molecules, but this essentially is a more stable molecule. Okay, this change in shape from a linear molecule to this branched molecule will occur in the presence of glucosyl transferase. Glucosyl transferase बोल के एक enzyme रहता. This enzyme is essentially transporting those glucose molecules. It will break the 1,4 linkage at the 10th glucose and it will attach it to the 7th glucose in the form of a 1,6 linkage, and you get a much more stable molecule, a branched molecule of glycogen. Now this molecule will keep on elongating, it will keep on branching, and ultimately it becomes glycogen. But this is essentially one of the blueprint of glycogen. This is how the basic structure of glycogen looks. Later on this fellow will come out, primer will come out, and you will end up only with this. That is how glycogen is being formed. This is the glycogen molecule. समझ में आया how glycogenesis occurs? If you have doubts or if you want me to repeat anything again, any step that you didn't understand, please feel free to ask.
Sir, repeat once again, sir.
Okay. So which part didn't you understand, ma, exactly? Which step you didn't understand? Or should I just repeat the whole thing? Because if you have a specific doubt, we can target exactly that.
UTP, sir.
UDP. Acha. So this step essentially. Uh, this one, no? How uridine diphosphate is coming into picture.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, तो यूरिडीन डाइफॉस्फेट अब जैसा एटीपी है ना, you have ATP in your body, right? There are several molecules of ATP just they are lying around in your body. The same way there is one nucleoside that is present in your body called UTP. ठीक है, यूरिडीन ट्राइफॉस्फेट बोलते हैं इसको. जस्ट लाइक एटीपी, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी. Okay, it is not commonly used or it is not produced as much as ATP, but it is present in your body. You will also have similarly GTP as well. We came across GTP before this. ठीक है, the same way you'll have uridine triphosphate. Uridine triphosphate is a molecule, it's a nucleotide that will, इसको uridine,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, actually, what is use of UTP?
what is, your voice is breaking, I wasn't able to hear you clearly.
Use of UTP, sir.
Use of UTP, it is just like ATP, it will give
Sir,
energy. Hmm. Yeah, see if you're asking the
actually, what is the use of UTP, sir?
वही जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, it is like ATP, it will generate energy. ATP जो है,
Okay, okay, sir.
adenosine triphosphate is the currency of energy in your body, right? Whenever there is excessive amount of energy, if you want to convert, see these are bonds, they are chemical bonds that are present in between these molecules, between carbon molecules, and whenever you break this bond you will get energy. ठीक है, ATP is one
Okay.
form of that energy. For example, think of it this way: petrol is a very common fossil fuel that is used in India. Okay, or in the world as such, petrol is very common to get energy. You pour it into a vehicle, that vehicle will convert that what do you call, mechanical energy into electrical energy, and your vehicle will run. Okay, whatever you're using, car, bike, or whatever it is, one form of energy is petrol. Another form of energy is diesel. Another form of energy is kerosene. Okay, all of them are different forms of energy. It is just that petrol is a little more efficient. That is why petrol, CNG, or diesel are used for energy. The same way, adenosine triphosphate is the main form of energy in your body, but there are other forms as well. One of such forms is UDP or UTP, specifically uridine triphosphate. It will also have three phosphate molecules. If you break those phosphate bonds, if you remove those phosphate molecules from UTP, you will generate energy. ठीक है, यहां पर क्या हो रहा, in this step in gluconeogenesis you are breaking UTP. So essentially what is happening is you take one molecule of UTP and you break it down into uridine diphosphate and you get one pyrophosphate molecule. Forget about this molecule for now. PP, forget about that. This is important in our scenario because this UDP will go and bind to that glucose 1 phosphate. जो glucose 1 phosphate you got from glucose, this fellow, UDP will go and bind to that. ठीक है, look here, यहाँ पर you can see UTP and you can see inorganic phosphate. Where is that uridine diphosphate? It went into this fellow. Uridine diphosphate went and attached into glucose, giving you uridine diphosphate glucose. To that molecule, full stop. That reaction is done. Uridine diphosphate glucose molecule is made. वहां पर रुक गया reaction. Next, a new molecule, a different protein called glycogen, which is a primer, that will come and attach to UDP glucose. And that glycogen molecule will essentially replace UDP. It will replace uridine diphosphate. And you get a glycogen primer with glucose attached to it. Essentially, you will get this. So you have UDP glucose. You are adding a primer molecule to it. Primer will generally have a hydroxyl. Primer will get attached to glucose, UDP gets attached to hydroxyl, and you get, this is the significant molecule. You will get a glycogen primer with a glucose molecule. That is the reaction. Now, this reaction occurs multiple times, meaning to this primer, several UDP glucose molecules will come and attach and they will donate the glucose molecule, meaning this chain will keep on continuing. UDPs will keep on donating glucose and this glucose molecule chain will continue till 16 molecules of glucose attach. And again, replacement of that chain occurs. Essentially, instead of being a linear chain, instead of being a straight chain, it will branch at the 10th glucose. Essentially, that 10th glucose molecule, it will break. ठीक है, 10th and 11th के बीच में जो बॉन्ड है वो ब्रेक होता, 7th glucose molecule will attach to another glucose molecule through a 1,6 linkage and you get the glycogen molecule. समझ में अभी?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyone else, any doubts? All right, that is glucogenesis, right? Glycogenesis, sorry, production of glycogen. Glycogenolysis will essentially be ulta. Okay, glycogenolysis is exactly the opposite reaction. So we start off in this reaction with a glycogen molecule. I think I have, no, I don't have glycogenolysis. Okay, I will draw it, don't worry. So let us suppose we have a glycogen molecule here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is the basic glycogen molecule which you got in the end of glycogenesis, right? Glycogenesis के end पे you start off with this. So this is glycogen. Now we are discussing about glycogenolysis. Glycogenolysis. Breaking down of glycogen. Okay. This breakdown of glycogen is occurring in a way where glycogen molecule will be broken down to get glucose. So exactly ulta process will occur compared to the previous process. First we take a glycogen molecule. We start with breaking the bond here. Okay. You start breaking these glucose molecules first. These 1,4 bondages will be broken. Okay. You use a molecule or an enzyme called glycogen phosphorylase. You have an enzyme called glycogen phosphorylase. Okay. Glycogen phosphorylase will first start breaking down these 1,4 linkages. These are all 1,4 linkages. Remember, only this bond has a 1,6 linkage. Everything else is a 1,4 linkage. Okay. First carbon bound to fourth carbon. Only that branched molecule has a first carbon attached to a sixth carbon. Okay. This keeps on occurring. Ultimately, what happens is there will be a debranching enzyme that will break this as well, which will break this bond as well. Okay. You'll get a enzyme called glucan transferase, which will break the branch. Okay. Ultimately, what you get is this: the whole branch gets eliminated, and this is left. Ultimately, you again start breaking here. The same glycogen phosphorylase will come, and it will keep on, breaking these bonds. Ultimately, what you get is glucose 1-phosphate. Glucose 1-phosphate. Glucose 1-phosphate undergoes isomerization phosphoglucomutase के presence में, same enzyme वहां पर वाला, you will get glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate undergoes dephosphorylation. This specifically occurs in the liver. Okay, inside the liver, glucose 6-phosphate will lose its phosphate molecule and you will get glucose. That is the reaction. That's it. If you understand glycogenesis, glycogenolysis is exactly the opposite reaction. Okay. Very similar enzymes, only one new enzyme will come, that is the first enzyme, glycogen phosphorylase, but everything else remains the same. You take one glycogen molecule, you first start breaking the branch, you finally break the 1,6 bondage. After you break the 1,6 bondage, you start breaking the 1,4 bond at the linear molecule. Think of the straight molecule, this molecule. At the end, you get glucose 1-phosphate molecule. Okay, you will get 16 molecules of glucose 1-phosphate. Those 16 molecules of glucose 1-phosphate will undergo of this thing, क्या बोलते हैं, isomerization, where that first the phosphate from the first position will change to sixth position, sixth carbon, and finally that phosphate is lost to give you glucose molecule. That is glycogenolysis. That's it. That is glycogenesis and that is glycogenolysis. Any doubts? Now, generally, they can in exam they can ask either one of these as a 5 mark answer. It's not very complicated. 4 5 marks answer के वैसा पूछ सकते हैं इसको. Or they might combine it to form a large answer in the sense that in a long answer, 13 mark के answer में they can give you this as a option. So for a 13 mark answer, they can give you A, B, C, or they can give you A and B. And bear in mind, it is not necessary that A, B, or A, B, and C will be from the same chapter. So A can be from chapter number 1, B can be from chapter number 10, C can be from chapter number 6. कैसा भी combination दे सकते हैं. That is why it is essential that you memorize important ones very well. Okay. So anyway, it can come as this way also, or it can come as a 4 mark answer as well. ठीक है, short answer के वैसा भी पूछ सकते हैं. Now you have only one cycle left in your carbohydrate metabolism, that is TCA, citric acid cycle, that we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. And we'll be done with the metabolism of carbohydrates. If we have enough time after TCA, we'll start metabolism of proteins or metabolism of lipids, whatever, depending on if time allows us or not. Okay.